Mankind's fascination for flying free like a bird has baffled his imagination from times immemorial. His cherished dream fulfilled at last in early 20th century because of his never say die spirit. Ancient Indian scriptures, composed in prehistoric era, give graphic details of flying machines. Pushkar Viman is one such example. The highly acclaimed Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci had also portrayed a number of imaginary flying machines. The journey from concept to invention of aircraft is both fascinating and romantic. Through series of struggle and efforts for centuries, man has reached the present state of flying. The wheels gave forward motion to man, and the aeroplane gave him wings. In 1783, two French scientists, Montgolfier brothers, created history by flying over Paris in a balloon filled with hot air. Hot air, being lighter than the surrounding air, takes the balloon also along with it up in the air. Its handicap was that its destination could not be ascertained, since its flight path depended on the wind's direction. However, nothing deterred the scientists in designing and developing new flying machines. From George Cayley to Wright brothers, a number of scientists designed various types of flying machines till they invented gliders. Sir George Cayley, an Englishman, made the first successful glider flight in 1845. Its major drawback, however, was that it had to be towed with the help of a rope to a height before it could glide. Down, not upwards. From 1890 onwards, a German engineer, Otto Lilienthal, continued the glider odyssey by designing a number of gliders. These were the real first pilot-controlled flying machines. But even these gliders did not have the capability of rising up from the ground on their own. The next in the series was the birth of dirigible airships filled with hydrogen gas. This added a new dimension to flying machines. Being ultralight, the hydrogen gas took these balloons to greater heights. Another scientist, Baldwin, fitted an engine to his dirigible airship. The engine gave it speed, while the hydrogen gas provided the upward thrust. However, hydrogen gas being highly combustible, these balloons could anytime catch fire. Despite such a serious fire hazard, these dirigibles remained an important means of air travel for about 30 years. The worst of fear came true in 1937, when a huge airship by the name of Hindenburg dirigible was completely destroyed in a devastating fire, and thus ended the saga of dirigible airship. The aviation history was, however, created on 17 December 1903 by two brothers, Orville Wright and Wilbur Wright. They astonished the world by flying their 12.29 meter long biplane over Kitty Hawk in North Carolina. It was fitted with a 12 horsepower engine, weighing about 32 kilograms for providing power to propellers. In the process, the plane got both the lift as well as the speed. Wright brothers became immortal. By the first quarter of 20th century, flying machines had crossed the experimental stage and become a reality. All myths related to flying had been exploded. Psychological as well as physical barriers were broken. The race was now on between various scientists to develop new machines and new technology to secure a place in the roll of honor. Let's look at the basic principle of flying. Look at these cones. When I blow air in between these cones, they get attracted towards each other instead of moving apart. Similarly, while playing cricket, the fast bowler swings the ball with the aid of air. These and many more such phenomena are based on Bernoulli's principle. As far back as 1738, a Swiss mathematician, Daniel Bernoulli, observed that air pressure is inversely proportional to the wind velocity. In other words, the higher the wind velocity, the lower will be air pressure. This is the guiding principle of flying machines.
एक हम बर्नौली की प्रिंसिपल को देखने के लिए और एक एक्सपेरिमेंट
For carrying out another experiment based on Bernoulli's principle, I place a piece of paper before a fan running at full speed. As per Bernoulli's principle, the high wind velocity reduces the top air pressure and the paper starts flying.
अब पंखे को ऑफ करने से
When the fan is switched off, the paper slowly limps back to its starting position.
विमान के उड़ान में पंख का
Wings and their shape also play a crucial role in the flight of a plane. That is why they are specially designed, flat at the bottom and curved on top. When the fast air flows over the top, the pressure decreases and the wing starts rising up. Along with the wings rises the plane.
जब यहाँ दबाव कम हो जाता है और ये पंख को उड़ाता है, उसके साथ विमान को भी उड़ाता है.
We can see it clearly when we put the model wing before a fan moving at full speed.
देखेंगे कि क्या होता है.
While in flight, 4 different types of forces act on an aircraft. Weight. Basically, it is the gravitational force that pulls the aircraft towards the ground. Lift. Wind flowing with high velocity above the wings builds low pressure on top of the wings. This low pressure provides necessary lift for the aircraft to rise up. Drag. It is the natural resistance offered by the air whenever the aircraft flies. Thrust. It is the force provided by the engine for giving forward motion to the aircraft. As soon as the thrust exceeds the drag and the lift exceeds the weight, the plane starts its ascent. Let's now look at the shape of wings. Monoplane. As the name suggests, it has a wing fitted on each side of the main body, called fuselage. This has proved to be the most acceptable design right from 1930s. In a biplane, a pair of wings is attached on each side of the fuselage. The pair of wings made the aircraft more stable, but reduced its speed. Some designers came out with triplanes as well. They added another set of wings to the biplanes by reducing the length of wings. This helped in turning and twisting the aircraft with great ease. Aeroplanes use 3 types of engines, namely piston engine, turbine engine, and jet engine. Wright brothers used piston engine in their plane, but they were replaced by turbine engines for higher speed. Even turbine engines were replaced by jet engines for still higher speeds. Aircraft fitted with jet engines soon broke the sound barrier by flying at speeds twice or thrice the speed of sound. Propeller-fitted planes suffered from a major handicap. They couldn't fly very high and had to remain below the clouds. Bad weather also had an adverse effect on their flight. But turbine and jet engines brought about a revolution to the extent that the planes broke the cloud barrier and started flying at heights more than even 12,000 meters. On the ground, vehicles can be turned to right or left. But the plane can not only turn right or left, it can also travel up or down.
और आइए आज आपको मैं ले चलता हूं
This is a small Cessna plane. It is fitted with an engine and also propellers. They provide forward motion to the plane.
इंजन के द्वारा आगे बढ़ता है जिस पे एक प्रोपेलर लगा हुआ है। ये प्रोपेलर और इंजन हवाई जहाज को आगे ले जाता है।
When the propellers moving at high speed throw the blast of air towards the tail, the plane gains forward motion. But before the plane can start its ascent, it has to gain a minimum speed by running on long strips of ground called the runway. The shape and size of wings also play a crucial role in an aircraft's flight. That is why special attention is paid for designing wings also.
अब हम आपको वायुयान के
First of
aileron
all,
के बारे में बताएं।
I will talk about aileron.
aileron, जिससे कि वायुयान
They help the
roll
plane
करता
to
है,
roll.
यानी कि मुड़ता है। अब आप देख
When I
रहे
push
हैं,
this
इस पंख के
aileron
ऊपर
up,
ये aileron है।
The lift,
जब
because
मैं
of the
इस aileron
curvature,
को
gets
ऊपर की
disturbed.
तरफ घुमाता हूं,
Air pressure below the wing
देखिए,
increases.
ऊपर की जो lift जो
Simultaneously,
बन रही है,
the other
curvature के
aileron
कारण
goes
वो
down.
disrupt हो जाती है, बंद हो जाती
The
है,
wind speed
और
increases,
यहाँ पे
and as per
जो है,
Bernoulli's
lift
principle,
कम होती
the
है,
pressure decreases
और
and the
नीचे
wing
pressure
goes
ज़्यादा
up.
रहता है, और ये
We can see
पंख
that
नीचे की
when
तरफ
this
गिरता है।
aileron comes
उसी
down,
समय
the other goes
दूसरा
up.
aileron जो है, वो
Similarly,
नीचे की तरफ
when the
जाता है।
other aileron goes
जब
up,
aileron नीचे
this
की तरफ
aileron
जाता
comes
है,
down.
तो कर्वेचर कर्व जो है
The coordinated movement of ailerons help the plane to turn right or left.
विंग हवा का दबाव जब तेज हो तो प्रेशर कम होता है, यहाँ हवा का दबाव तेज होता है क्योंकि विंग का कर्वेचर ज्यादा बढ़ा और नीचे से प्रेशर ज्यादा, नीचे का प्रेशर उसी समान जो रहता है। तो इस समय जो हमारा जो विंग है ये ऊपर लिफ्ट बनती है और ये और ऊपर की तरफ उठता है। तो जब ये एलेरॉन नीचे जाता है तो वो एलेरॉन ऊपर आता है, वो एलेरॉन नीचे जाता है तो ये एलेरॉन ऊपर आता है, और इसी डिफरेंशियल एलेरॉन के कारण हवाई जहाज मुड़ता है।
Look at these children making paper planes with the precision of an aeronautical engineer. By folding the left portion up and right portion down, the plane turns to left. By folding the right portion up and the left portion down, the plane turns to right.
बीच वाला हिस्सा है विंग के पीछे जिसको कि बॉडी,
The middle portion of the plane is called body
बड़े जहाजों
or
में
fuselage.
फ्यूजलाज मेन बॉडी
Bigger planes have bigger fuselage for seating passengers and keeping luggage, etc. This being a small plane, its fuselage houses only control column.
मूव करने के लिए टेल सेक्शन की तरफ इसको जोड़ के रखती है। और फ्यूजलाज के बाद हम आते हैं,
Let's now look at the elevator
और यहाँ
and
पे
the rudder.
मेन हिस्सा है एलिवेटर और रडर।
The elevator
Elevator
helps
का
the
काम
plane
है
to ascend
हवाई
or
जहाज को
descend.
pitch
When the
movement देना,
pilot pulls
यानी
the control
ऊपर
column
या
towards
नीचे
himself,
जब
elevator
pilot
goes up,
कंट्रोल कॉलम को पीछे करता है,
the air pressure
elevator
presses
ऊपर
it
जाता है।
down,
हवा का रुख
and the
उसको
plane
दबाता है,
starts
हवाई जहाज
its
का नोज
ascent.
ऊपर जाता है और वो क्लाइंब करने लगता है, चढ़ने लगता है। और जब एलिवेटर नीचे जाता है तो हवा का रुख इसको नीचे से दबाता है और टेल ऊपर जाती है, नोज नीचे जाता है और जहाज नीचे उतरने लगता है। ये है हवाई जहाज का रडर।
When the pilot pushes away the control column, elevator goes up, the air pressure pushes the tail up, the nose points down, and the plane starts its descent.
वो लेफ्ट रडर लगाएगा।
We will now talk about the role of rudder.
दबाव डालेगा और
This turns the
जहाज का
nose
जो
right
नाक है,
or left.
वो लेफ्ट की तरफ मूवमेंट शुरू करेगा।
When the pilot
और उसी
uses
तरीके
left
से
rudder,
जब राइट
the
का रडर
nose
लगाएगा,
starts moving to
राइट
left.
से हवा दबाव डालेगी और जहाज राइट की तरफ यॉ करेगा, यानी कि
Similarly,
जहाज का नाक राइट
When the pilot uses right rudder,
मोड़ने के
the
लिए
nose starts moving
जहाज
to
को
right.
एलेरॉन की भी जरूरत होती है, तभी जहाज ठीक मुड़ेगा, जैसे कि साइकिल
Along
सवार
with
जब
rudder,
साइकिल मोड़ता है,
ailerons
तो
are
बैंक भी
also
डालता है।
used for turning the
ये
aircraft
बैंक एलेरॉन
right
द्वारा
or
डालेगा।
left.
आपको cockpit
By
के
using
अंदर
both in conjunction, the plane
ऐसा
takes a
दिखाते हैं।
proper turn just as a
Cockpit के अंदर जब
cyclist
pilot बैठता
bends
है
his
तो
body
control column
also
के
along with the handle to
इस
take a
control
proper
column के
turn.
द्वारा पायलट अपने जहाज को
While sitting in the
left या
cockpit,
right
the
मोड़ता
pilot
है,
holds the
ऊपर
control column
या
with
नीचे की
both
तरफ
his
करता है।
hands to turn the
जैसे कि
plane
अब
or
मैंने
to
अपने
ascend
control column को
or
ठीक
descend.
किया, तो जिस एलिवेटर के बारे में मैंने आपको बताया था, वो एलिवेटर ऊपर
When the
जाता है
pilot pulls the
और
control column,
हवाई जहाज का
elevator
जो
goes
नाक
up,
है, वो
the
ऊपर
nose
की तरफ
also goes up,
जाती है और climb
and the
करती है।
plane starts
और
its
उसके बाद जब
ascent.
कंट्रोल कॉलम को आगे करते हैं, तो नाक
When the
वापस
pilot
अपने
pushes the
level पे
control
आके
column,
फिर आगे
the
जाना
nose
शुरू करती
first
है,
comes
यानी
to
कि
level
नीचे की
position
तरफ जाना शुरू करती
and
है,
then starts pointing
elevator
downwards, and the plane
और इसी
starts
तरीके से
its
अगर
descent.
मैंने हवाई जहाज को मोड़ना हो तो मैं
Similarly,
aileron को
when the
left
pilot
करूंगा,
turns
जैसे कि
left
अपने
aileron,
aileron
the
दबाया
left wing
और
goes
मेरा
down
aileron जो है,
and the plane
ऊपर
starts
की तरफ
turning to
गया
left.
और ये विंग नीचे आएगा और मैं
If the pilot
left की
turns
तरफ
the right
मुड़ूंगा।
aileron, the
और
right
फिर
wing
मैंने
comes
अपना
down
मोड़ पूरा
and the
किया,
plane starts
मैं
taking a right
second level
turn.
आ गया। अब मेरे को कहा गया राइट को मुड़ो, मैं राइट को मुड़ने लगा। aileron अब मेरा
If so
right वाला
desired,
aileron ऊपर
the
जा
plane
रहा
can
है,
ascend
left
or
वाला
descend
नीचे आ रहा
as
है,
well as
और
take a
जहाज
right or
right को
left
मुड़ता
turn
जा रहा है।
by suitably
और roll out
adjusting the
करने के लिए
control column.
मैंने रोल आउट किया। अगर इस समय
When the
मैं
pilot wants to land,
मोड़ना भी
he
चाहूं
first
और
of all
ऊपर भी जाना
aligns
चाहूं
the
तो मैं
plane
कर सकता
with
हूं।
the runway
और
by turning his plane
मोड़ना
right
चाहूं और
or
डाइव
left.
करना चाहूं तो भी मैं कर सकता
Thereafter, he ensures that the nose points downwards for starting
हूं। हवाई
descent.
जहाज हवा में उड़ रहा है और पायलट उसको लैंडिंग के लिए लाना
When the plane comes very
वो
close to the runway,
जहाज को
the
घुमा के
pilot lifts
runway
the
से
elevator a
align
bit,
करता है और
reduces
जहाज
the
का
throttle
nose
RPM,
नीचे करता
and
है
ensures
और
that
जब वो
the
landing
nose
की
is pointing
speed आ जाती
downwards.
है, aircraft
Thereafter,
stabilize
the
हो
plane
जाता है,
lands
तो इस
safely
दिशा में
and
बिल्कुल
smoothly.
होता है। अब जहाज नीचे आता जाता है और जब रनवे के बिल्कुल पास आ जाता है और पायलट उसका डिसेंट रेस्ट करना चाहता है, तो हल्के से एलिवेटर को ऊपर करता है, नोज बिल्कुल पैरेलल रनवे के आ जाता है और धीरे धीरे वो थ्रॉटल अपना आरपीएम कम करता है, जहाज नीचे नीचे होता जाता है और उसके नीचे के गिराव को अरेस्ट करने के लिए हल्के से वो एलिवेटर ऊपर करता है और हवाई जहाज टच कर जाता है। इस तरीके से एक सफा और शानदार लैंडिंग हवाई जहाज से पायलट कर सकता है।
The flight deck of a jet aircraft continues to be most visually enticing, fitted with a plethora of control panels. Hats off to the pilot and co-pilot whose eyes are continuously glued to these panels for monitoring various parameters of the aircraft while in flight. Crucial controls include airspeed indicator, displays the speed at which the aircraft is flying at a particular moment. Altimeter, works on the principle of a barometer and displays the height of the aircraft vis-a-vis sea level. Gyroscope, functions in conjunction with altimeter and tells if the aircraft is flying parallel to the horizon. In case it is not, the pilot immediately takes corrective action to ensure that neither the wings are tilting nor the nose is pointing up or down. In addition to analyzing the data provided by these sophisticated instruments, the pilot is in continuous contact with the ground control to monitor various parameters like aircraft's position, speed, and direction, etc. While taking off as well as while landing, it is the pilot who alone does all the maneuvers. In between taking a smooth flight, autopilot can take over. Autopilot is a state-of-the-art computerized technique for exercising full control over the aircraft while in flight by maintaining an integrated interaction between various instruments. Flight deck is also fitted with a radar to warn the pilot about the impending obstacles like oncoming aircraft, hills and hillocks to be avoided, weather condition including the building up of storms, etc. During and after First World War, the size and shape of aircraft underwent unprecedented innovations. Initially, the aircraft became the super-fast mode of travel, but later, another version of passenger aircraft was designed to carry cargo. The aircraft designed by Wright brothers could carry only one passenger. By 1939, a technology was developed to control air pressure in the cabin. This helped in increasing the speed and gaining height, besides bringing down the decibel level to bearable limits. Simultaneously, runways were also upgraded. Presently, most commercial aircrafts can carry up to 800 passengers and cover a distance up to 15,000 kilometers without refueling. Because of flying at a height of about 10 to 12,000 meters, these planes are neither affected by inclement weather nor air turbulence, making the flight absolutely smooth. Huge planes can carry cargo weighing thousands of tons. Antonov AN-225 is one such cargo plane fabricated in Ukraine. It can carry a cargo weighing up to 25,000 kilograms or even more. As a challenge to these monsters, a little master by the name helicopter was conceived. They could take off vertically from wherever they are parked. In 1939, a Russian-born American, Igor Sikorsky, introduced the first commercial helicopter, T-300, on the aviation horizon. In short, the era of VTOL, or vertical takeoff and landing, had arrived. Helicopters have their rotors fixed on top of the main body. Rotors can have 2 or 4 blades similar in shape to the fixed wings of aircrafts. When the rotors rotate, the air pressure on top of the machine decreases, helping the machine to rise up. An additional rotor is installed at the tail also. This rotor helps the pilot to adjust the flight path. Introduction of gas turbine jet engines in 1955 brought about a revolution in the functioning of helicopters. These became safer, and the noise level also came down substantially. Being highly versatile, helicopters are extensively used in both defense as well as civil operations. They are ideal for evacuating people marooned in floods, dropping food packets, medicines, and other essential items in times of natural calamities. In fact, helicopter is the only alternative for providing transport in inaccessible areas and for providing timely relief to persons trapped in remote areas. During wartime, helicopter plays a vital role for reconnaissance of enemy activities. In times of emergency, helicopters are the only means of providing immediate relief. The present era belongs to ultra-modern and extraordinarily expensive fighter aircrafts like MiGs, Sukhois, Mirages, F-16s and F-17s, as well as the B-2 stealth bomber. Safety during flight is of paramount importance. It is ensured with a network of highly sensitive instruments fitted in the cockpit and in ground control room. Latest fabrication technology has made modern aircraft more sturdy. Composite materials, steel, reinforced plastic, and a number of aluminium reinforced metals are being widely used in fabrication of modern aircrafts. Air travel has transformed human psyche to such an extent that it is incomprehensible to think of a world without aircrafts.